Narration, the prologue and first 2 chapters of the epic dream saga of UltimateMan, a book written by Tom Bijl. Prologue. Listen, for I am UltimateMan, and this is my tale of courage and resilience. Born in tumultuous city of Mogadishu in 1980, I've known adventure and danger from my earliest days. My father, a masterful consultant for governments, led our family on a journey across various lands. My heritage is both Dutch and Senegalese, and I have a brother and a sister who share in my bold spirit. At the age of 1, my father took us away from Mogadishu to the Netherlands, where we settled in Amsterdam when I was 4. My father continued his work as a consultant in different countries, and we were constantly on the move. When I was 5, we joined him on a mission in Yemen, where I witnessed the might of my father's intellect in action. But our family was soon torn apart by the ravages of war. One day, my parents left me in St. Louis with my grandmother, while I took my older brother and sister to Sri Lanka. It was a moment of great peril, for a fierce conflict raged between Senegal and Mauritania. I had no idea of the danger that lurked outside. One day, my aunt asked me to go to the shop, and I went out, completely oblivious to the violence that was tearing my homeland apart. Senegalese vigilantes were hunting down Moors, seeking revenge for the murders they had committed against the Senegalese people. I was an innocent child caught in the middle of it all. As I walked around, a group of Senegalese approached me, armed with machetes and bats with spikes. My heart pounded in my chest as I realized they were coming for me. But then, a miracle occurred. Someone stepped in and recognized me, telling the attackers that I was no more but a local boy. They let me go, and I was saved from certain death. The war raged on, taking many lives in its wake. But even in the darkest of times, there is hope. My parents returned to me when I was 6, and we continued our travels. Eventually, my mother chose to settle in Senegal, and my father bought her a villa on the island of St. Louis. It was there that I made a vow to myself, a promise to fight for good and to undo evil wherever it may lurk. I faced danger and witnessed the worst of humanity, but I've also seen the power of compassion and bravery in the face of adversity. And I will continue to fight for what is right, no matter what challenges lie ahead. Chapter 1. The Beginning. Discovering the Spiritual World. In the land of Yemen, where the sands whisper tales of ancient times, I found myself awoken one night from my slumber by a bright light outside my window, a sight beyond my wildest dreams that would leave even the bravest of souls quaking. As I gazed out my window, I saw a boat sailing through the starry night sky, carried by 8 beings, so strange and otherworldly that my mind could hardly comprehend them. Yet, as they landed, they surrounded me, their towering forms so enormous that their toes could not even fit within the confines of my humble abode. The air was thick with ancient energy, and though their language was foreign to my ears, I could feel the intensity of their discussion as their voices were rumbling like thunder. They seemed to be debating something of utmost importance, and I knew in my heart that it concerned me. Suddenly, they all turned to me, their massive forms casting long shadows on the floor, and their gazes so serious it sent shivers down my spine. They nodded gravely, and then they were gone, as quickly as they had appeared, vanishing like shooting stars in the starry night sky. I was left alone, bewildered by what had just transpired. Although I never saw them again, my mind was forever marked by their image, These beings shone with an otherworldly light. In my studies of the legends and lore of ancient civilizations, I came to realize that they were no mere mortals. Nay, they were the Egyptian gods of old, come to bestow upon me some divine message or task. Their forms were humanoid, but some of them, their heads were hidden beneath gold helmets, each adorned with the visage of a different animal. The most awe-inspiring of them all was the one with an eagle's head, its radiance outshining even the brightest star with its piercing gaze, and bright light illuminating my soul. But it was the one with the head of a hound that truly struck fear into my heart. Its menacing presence, a reminder that there is still so much we do not understand in this mystical world of ours. Their clothes were as impressive as their bodies, sparkling with an unearthly light that seemed to come from within. And though their visit was brief, the impact of their presence would stay with me forever, a reminder of the divine mysteries that lay beyond the realm of the mortal understanding. In the depths of another night, where I found myself at the forefront of a fierce battle, with the fate of the entire cosmos at stake, my companions were 3 mighty warriors, with whom I fought in perfect harmony, their strength and prowess matched only by my own. Together, we were armor of untold power, and flew on majestic ships that traversed the very depths of space. As we battled our way through the darkness, I noticed that the dark beings we fought seemed to regard me with fear, and I soon realized why. My very being was emanating pure light, a radiant glow that repelled the darkness and gave my allies the strength to fight on. The dark horde was relentless, but we held our own, blasting our way through the enemy ranks and holding them at bay. Suddenly, a deafening hum filled the air, and the dark beings fled in terror. One of my companions told me that the monster was coming, and I knew what I had to do. My weapon, once a blaster, transformed into a mighty spear, with a blade like no other. With all my might, I hurled the spear toward the terrifying beast, and it flew like lightning, piercing its massive form and cutting it in half. With the monster and its minions vanquished, we emerged victorious. My companions declared me ruler of all, and I took my rightful place on the throne, respected and revered by all who stood before me. As I surveyed the battlefield, I knew what I had to do next. I took the remains of the fallen enemies and used them to create a foundation for a garden that would thrive with life and beauty. But it wasn't enough to simply create the garden. I wanted to fill it with the very creatures that had fought against me, to give them a second chance at life and redemption. And so I created men and women, imbuing them with my light and giving them the power to choose their own paths in life. One of my companions was not pleased with this decision, fearing that these beings would become too powerful and challenge my rule. But I assured them that all beings deserved a second chance, and that only the worthy and righteous would be allowed to live among us. We agreed to set a timer, giving the created beings enough time to accept and understand their role in the grand scheme of things. As we watched the garden flourish with life, we marveled at the beauty of our creation, and I knew that it was good. I woke from my dream, my mind still reeling from the epic battle and the divine purpose that had driven me forward. After our trip to Yemen, we returned to St. Louis in Senegal, only to discover that our villa there was in need of significant renovations. Consequently, when I was 9 years old, my father made the decision to purchase a new villa in Burkina Faso, He had been appointed as the president of the SNV, a Dutch organization that aimed to facilitate development in Africa, and was stationed there for work. As a result, our family relocated to Burkina Faso. If you'd like to read more, you can purchase the book on Etsy, The Epic Dream Saga of UltimateMan. Your support helps me create more stories. Please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment and click the notification bell. Thank you once again for tuning in. The Epic Dream Saga of UltimateMan. All illustrations and content are made by Tom Bijl. 3D Vision, all rights reserved. Kindly share the story with your friends and family. You can also consider purchasing this book as a gift for your loved ones. It makes the perfect gift, complemented by its stunning illustrations. The power is in you.